You're not struggling because you're not good enough. You're struggling because no one taught you the silent rules of power, presence, and attraction. Today, that changes. Most men spend their lives chasing the wrong things, trying to impress women with money, looks, or charm. But what if I told you that real attraction doesn't begin on the outside? It begins in the mind. The truth is, there are hidden psychological triggers, subtle emotional switches inside every woman that, once understood, can completely shift the way you connect with them. These are not tricks. They're not pickup lines. They're deep, subconscious vulnerabilities that women themselves often don't even recognize. And here's the problem. Most men go through life completely blind to them. But today, that changes. We're going to explore 10 hidden female weaknesses, not to manipulate, but to understand. Because the man who understands these truths doesn't chase women. He becomes the one they chase. So let's begin. The power of emotional certainty. Women are emotional beings, not because they're unstable, but because emotions are their internal compass. They don't just think their way through relationships, they feel their way through them. And one of the deepest subconscious needs most women carry? Emotional certainty. It's not just about romance or excitement, it's about safety. A woman wants to know that the man she's with won't crumble under pressure, that when life throws its worst, he doesn't flinch. She doesn't want a man who's controlled by his emotions. She wants a man who can contain them. You see, when a woman feels like she has to manage your emotional state, when you lash out, sulk, or act needy during stress, you're signaling weakness. And once that dynamic flips, once she becomes the stabilizer and you become the fragile one, the attraction starts to die fast. Women are drawn, often without even knowing why, to men who are emotionally grounded, to men who stay calm when she's upset, who don't spiral when things go wrong, who handle storms, not with noise, but with stoic, quiet strength. Think about it. If you're the emotional anchor, if she feels safer with you than without you, you become more than just a partner. You become her haven. So here's the first truth. Emotional certainty is power. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that commands it simply by being solid, centered, and unshakable. And that brings us to the next powerful truth. Once a woman feels completely secure that she has you, the dynamic starts to shift. Not because she's cruel, but because human psychology, especially in attraction, is wired to crave what feels scarce, what feels earned. Women are drawn to what they can't fully have. It's a fact of human nature. We assign more value to things that are limited, rare, or hard to obtain. Diamonds, luxury cars, limited edition sneakers. They're not just expensive because of materials. They're expensive because they're scarce. And when something is scarce, people want it more. Women are no different when it comes to attraction. In fact, one of the most overlooked psychological triggers is this. Women are subconsciously drawn to men they can't fully have. Men who are too available, too eager, too quick to give their all. They may seem sweet at first. They may get some attention. But over time, that eagerness becomes predictable. And predictability, while comforting, doesn't stoke deep attraction. Why? Because deep down, A woman wants to feel a sense of challenge. She doesn't want a man who makes her his entire world. She wants a man who already has a world of his own and only invites her into it. On the other hand, the men who keep just a bit of distance, the men who are warm but not overbearing, mysterious but not aloof, those are the men who trigger something ancient in her mind. A curiosity, a desire to close the gap. She wants to earn his attention, not just receive it passively. And that's where the chase begins. So how do you harness this? It's not about playing games, it's about maintaining your independence. Let her wonder when she'll hear from you next. Not because you're ghosting her, but because you're focused on your mission. Don't make yourself constantly available. Don't flutter with validation before she's even invested. Revealing everything at once might feel romantic, but in reality, mystery holds more power than confession. Let her discover you piece by piece, layer by layer. Because once she feels like she's figured you out entirely, once she senses there's nothing left to uncover, the spark begins to fade. But if you keep just a part of yourself out of reach, if she feels like there's always more of you to explore, more depth to understand, she'll keep coming back, not out of obligation, but out of magnetic, burning curiosity. Previously, we uncovered the magnetic pull of mystery and emotional certainty. But what happens when a man flips the script entirely? When he shows that he doesn't need her at all?
I'll walk away like you don't need her. It triggers her deepest fear. There's a hidden psychological switch buried deep in the female subconscious, one that gets flipped not when you chase, but when you walk away. Here's the truth. 1
of a woman's most intense emotional triggers is the fear of loss. It's simple human psychology. We value what we're afraid to lose. And women, just like anyone else, feel the sharp sting of absence far more than they feel the comfort of presence. But here's where most men fall apart. When they sense a woman pulling away, they panic. They start texting too much, begging for a second chance, explaining themselves over and over, trying to fix whatever went wrong. But all of that, it only confirms one devastating truth in her eyes: that you need her more than she needs you. And the second she feels that imbalance, something inside her turns cold. Why? Because desperation kills desire. Neediness whispers, "You're my only shot." And that's not attractive, it's pressure. But a man who can walk away without hesitation, who can say with his actions, "If you don't respect me, I'm gone," he becomes instantly powerful. In her mind, he's not begging, he's not chasing, he's not even arguing. He's calm, centered, willing to leave the table if respect isn't being served. And that's terrifying, because it means he has options. It means his self-worth isn't tied to her validation. It means he values himself too much to stay where he's not appreciated. This isn't manipulation, it's self-respect. And here's the paradox. The men who are willing to walk away are the ones women never want to lose. So if she pulls away, plays games, or disrespects you, don't chase, don't lecture, don't react. Withdraw with dignity, because the rule is simple: be willing to walk away, and you'll never have to chase. A man with a mission is her kryptonite. Now let's talk about something even deeper. Not how you treat her, but what drives you. You want to know a woman's biggest weakness? It's not your muscles. It's not your wallet. It's not even your charm. It's your mission. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are driven by something greater than themselves. A man with vision, a man with purpose, a man who wakes up each day with a fire that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. Maybe it's building a business, maybe it's creating music, leading a team, mastering a craft, or transforming your life from the inside out. Whatever it is, if it lights you up, it makes you magnetic. Why? Because purpose creates clarity. Clarity breeds confidence. Confidence creates masculine presence, and that is irresistible. Here's where most guys mess up. They make her their mission. They drop everything for her. They text constantly. They rearrange their life to be around her 24/7. And ironically, that's what kills the attraction. Because while she wants to feel important, she doesn't want to be your whole world. She wants to join a man who's already building his own. The man with a mission doesn't cancel his workout because she's free at 7. He doesn't ditch his goals for dinner dates. He's not rude, he's focused, and that focus makes her chase. Not because he ignores her, but because his energy tells her, "You're welcome here, but I don't need you to breathe." So ask yourself, what are you building? What wakes you up in the morning? What fuels your discipline? If you don't have that yet, get it. Because women can sense it instantly. And if you lack it, they won't stick around. The paradox of controlled vulnerability. Finally, let's explore one of the trickiest psychological triggers. Vulnerability. It's a double-edged sword. Too much, and you seem weak. Too little, and you come across as cold or emotionally unavailable. But when you strike the balance just right, that's when you become unforgettable. Women crave depth. They want to feel emotionally connected, but not at the cost of strength. A man who overshares, constantly complains, or uses vulnerability as a way to fish for sympathy. That's not attractive. That's exhausting. But a man who knows when and how to open up, who shares his emotions without dumping them, who can be honest about his struggles without falling apart, that man is powerful. Controlled vulnerability shows courage, not collapse. It says, "I've been through pain, and I'm still standing." It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally grounded. A man who can hold space for his own emotions and hers becomes the pillar she leans on. So don't hide your heart, but don't hand it over like a broken offering either. Speak with strength, feel with clarity, share when it matters, because the man who can bleed without begging, who can open up without falling apart, that's the man who leaves a permanent mark on her soul. Previously, we explored the paradox of controlled vulnerability, being open yet composed. But now let's dive into something deeper. How true power is revealed not just in how you act, but in how you respond, especially when tested, rejected, or tempted. Women are wired to test your strength. Here's something most men never realize. Women test men all the time, not to be mean, not to play games, but to feel safe. These aren't conscious manipulations. They're primal, subconscious filters designed to answer one simple question. Can he handle me? She might challenge your opinion just to see if you flinch. She might create minor drama to watch how you react. She might pull away just to see if you chase. And guess what? If you fail the test, if you become defensive, insecure, or reactive, she loses respect. Because weakness to her subconscious mind is danger. The secret? Stay calm. Always. Smile. Respond. Don't react. Stay grounded, even if she's emotional. If she pulls back, don't chase. Just hold the line. Let her return to your frame. If she throws attitude, don't mirror it. Be unfazed. Pass her tests and you become the man she doesn't just desire, she can't replace. And remember this, women only test men they're drawn to. So if she's testing you, that's your green light. Just don't fumble it. A. Confidence in the face of rejection is magnetic. Most men fear rejection like it's a death sentence, but the strongest men, they welcome it. They laugh at it. And that is why women can't stop thinking about them. See, rejection doesn't sting because she said no. It stings because you made her approval your validation. Flip the script. Next time you get rejected, smile and say, "All good, take care." Then walk away without a second glance. Not cold, not bitter, just calm, detached, and centered. That kind of self-possession, it's magnetic. It tells the world, I know my worth. I'm not for everyone. And that's my power. When you no longer need to be liked, you become the one people want to be liked by, and that includes her. Mystery is a weapon. Use it. Well, here's a psychological truth few men understand. If a woman knows exactly how you feel at all times, she stops wondering. And when she stops wondering, she stops chasing. It's not about being distant. It's about being unpredictable. Don't always text back immediately. Don't pour out every emotion on day 3. Don't announce your plans before you've lived them. Be selective. Be composed. Let her discover you like a novel, not a tweet. Because when you leave room for curiosity, you keep her imagination engaged. And nothing fuels desire like imagination. Let her wonder where she stands. Not out of cruelty, but because mystery is masculine. The man she can't fully figure out, that's the one she can't stop thinking about. A man who controls his desires controls his destiny. This is the final piece, and maybe the most important one of all. Most men, they're ruled by their urges. They chase women, they seek approval. They burn energy chasing validation they should be giving themselves. But the rarest of men, the truly powerful, they control their desires instead of being controlled by them. They say no when everyone else says yes. They delay gratification. They choose purpose over pleasure. They lead themselves instead of being led by lust. And women, they feel that. They sense the restraint, the control, the quiet dominance. They see a man who doesn't need them. And suddenly they want him more than anyone else. Because the moment you stop chasing is the moment they start chasing you. So let's wrap this up. This video wasn't about games. It wasn't about tricks. It was about truth, about understanding how attraction really works. Not through manipulation, but through mastery. Mastery of your emotions. Mastery of your presence. Mastery of your purpose. Mastery of your energy. When you embody strength, direction, and discipline, women won't just want you, they'll need you. If this hit hard, don't just click away. Drop a comment below. Tell me which of these truths resonated with you the most. Hit that like button if you're done chasing and ready to lead. Subscribe to Stoic Guide for weekly drops of grounded wisdom on life, power, and modern attraction. Because this isn't just a channel. This is a community of men who are no longer waiting to be chosen. We're choosing ourselves. Stay disciplined. Stay dangerous. Stay stoic. I'll see you in the next one.